What is up, my dudes, and the one girl who's still just checking on me to make sure I don't have frostbite? I don't. Thanks for checking. Alright, see you later. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, we got a few things to talk about today. Up first, I want to take the Shadetree challenge and talk to you guys about 5 bikes I wish they would bring back, and not get hit while I'm doing it. Cool. After that, we're gonna go into the garage and we are going to talk about Harley Davidson's January 19th, like a big announcement of, the 2021 bikes. Yeah. So, let's kick this off with something a little more fun, and let's talk about the 5 bikes I wish they still made. Spoiler alert, the middle part of this list is, it's very brand-centric, but they're not all the same, I promise. Let's start off with number 5. Nice and easy. It is the Honda Nighthawk. Now, before you're like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Like, it's the Honda Nighthawk. No one cares. It is like the blandest of bland bikes. There's nothing really special about it. It's just another V-twin knockoff. You're right. You are correct. Like, everything you're griping about right now is correct. The reason the Nighthawk is on my list is because after I got rid of my basket case that I did talk to a few of you about on my live chats, I learned to ride on an 85 Honda Nighthawk 450. Now, this thing had no balls. Actually, to say it had no balls would be inaccurate. This thing had negative balls. Like, it did 0 to 60 on a downhill. If I had a giant I don't know, sail connected to my ass and the wind was blowing with us, it would do 0 to 60 in a half an hour. But that's about it. The Nighthawk is just silly, no matter what engine size you get, what engine placement you get. So why is it on my list? Well, sentimental value. That's it. That's why it is there. I truly learned to ride on a Honda Nighthawk 450, so they hold a warm spot in my heart, the same way the Harley Sportster does, because when I was a kid, it was the first bike that someone ever took me for a ride on, and I was just like, wow, bikes are awesome, motorcycles rock. So there's my number 5. Pretty easy, right out of the way. Bam. Number 4. It is going to be the Victory Hammer. Yeah. So here's my thing. I really do like Victory motorcycles. I like the way the gas tanks looked. I like that, the tanks had some character to them. I thought the engines were more reliable than, what Harley was doing at the time. They looked cooler. They had cooler names. They were just all kinds of stuff. It sounds cooler to be like, this is my bike, the Hammer, over, oh, check out my bike, Fat Bob. So, yeah, it was just to me, it was just awesome. Really, that's the reason why the Hammer is on there. It's very aesthetic to me, and maybe we'll circle back to some other stuff, because number 3 on my list is the Victory Highball. The reason why this is on my list, quite simply, is because I feel like Victory really took a chance with this bike and really did some cool stuff with it. if you look at this bike, like right out of the dealership, speaking of bikes, what's up there, guy? If you look at this thing right off the floor, right out of the dealership, you know, it came with 8 hangers. It had white wall tires. It was like a bobbed out bike. It just looked cool. A lot of the stuff that you see people do to their bikes aftermarket, you got this like from the factory. It was awesome. And if you think I'm kidding, like a prime example I could give you here is if you go watch like any of Moto Sarge's videos. Not right now, seriously. YouTube metrics, remember this. Watch this whole video. If you go watch any of Moto Sarge's videos, and you really should, because he's a great moto vlogger and he does a lot of cool stuff. He rides a Fat Bob. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was making fun of the Fat Bob. Sorry, Moto Sarge. You know, look at his bike, like 2 things on there, 8 hangers and white walls, and it looks awesome. He's got a cool looking bike, man. Victory, you showed up, you bought that off the floor. You didn't have to, like, you know, drop like $400 or $500 on tires with white walls on it. You didn't have to throw the 8 hangers on and all this stuff. You could immediately skip and go to other like cool little things. So yeah, I mean, to me the Highball was just, it was a really cool idea, and it was a really cool sort of like thing that I don't think enough manufacturers really do. They took some risks with it, and they ran with it, and it was cool. So yeah, number 3 for me is the Victory Highball. Number 2, look at that, we're just like blazing through this list, man. Number 2 would be the Victory Vegas 8-ball, and number 1's not a Victory, so don't click away just yet, relax. So yeah, the Victory Vegas 8-ball, and the reason why this is on my list is because after I rode the Honda Nighthawk for like maybe a few months, and then I was like, man, I gotta upgrade. I went to a crotch rocket. I was on a Ninja for like 10 years, Kawasaki Ninja, and I love that bike. And I really didn't have an interest in getting into cruisers. And then it came time where I had an interest in getting into cruisers. So I started looking around. And at the time, I wasn't really super happy with a lot of the stuff that Harley was putting out. I wasn't happy with the Harley image. You know, there's just a lot of stuff where I was just like, So, Victory really caught my eye. And the bike that truly caught my eye was the Victory Vegas 8-ball. It was a cool looking, like, bobbed out bike. Everything was blacked out. It had that like upside down teardrop headlight instead of the single round one. You know, the gas tank, as I said, like Victory had this thing where they kind of like, you know, they did the I can't even explain it. I'm not thinking about it right now. I see you hiding, officer. It was they kind of do that inverted sort of gas tank where like it's dimpled in on the sides, whatever. You probably know what I'm talking about. If not, I just sound insane, so here we are. Yeah, they had character on their gas tanks. I really liked their engines. I felt like they brought more power and reliability to the market than Harley did. So to me, it was just an awesome looking bike. Like, I was all about the Victory Vegas 8-ball. The reason I did not end up with the Victory Vegas 8-ball is when it came time for me to start shopping for a cruiser, the Victory folded. And at that point in time, like I said, I had my Kawasaki for 10 years. I probably would have kept it even longer if I had not been ready to move to a cruiser. So, like for me, I'm in the mindset of I want my bike for a long time. I knew that Victory said that they would support, or Polaris said they would support parts for the bike for at least 10 years. And I knew that that meant, like, for a year or two, it'd be easy to get parts. After that, it would start becoming a little bit harder. You'd find less people to work on it. Stuff would get more expensive. And then, you know, around that 10-year mark, you have a glorified, like, paperweight. And I didn't want that. So I turned away from Victory and was also soured on Indian at the same time, just because Polaris folded Victory in favor of Indian. So yeah, that killed it for me. But that's still my number 2. I would love to see, and it would really change my mind on a lot of stuff if, like, Indian brought back some of that performance line and just, you know, renamed it and realigned it with what they're doing now. I mean, hell, man, call it like the Indian Tomahawk or something like that. Not that they're really keeping with, like, the Indian names and the Indian artifact names and all that stuff anymore. What's up, Challenger? But, you know, if they want to keep it in line with everything, that would be a way to do it. Just fold it in. Like, fold it in. Pretend you're making scrambled eggs there, Polaris. Make it happen. Yeah, so that's my number 2. Number 1. And with this one, there's a couple different caveats to it. But overall, I would love to see Harley bring back the Harley Bad Boy. That thing is awesome. I'm sure it's got a bunch of letters for a name like everything else. I can't decode the letters. I just don't care. But the Harley Bad Boy with that Springer front, that thing just looked mean. It looked badass. It looked like a bike should look. It was just cool, man. And I love Springer fronts. And if you're curious to see, yeah, just whatever, dude. If you're curious to see a Bad Boy in action, just go check out, like, John Maxwell's channel. He has a Bad Boy. Again, not right now. Go later. He has a Harley Bad Boy. He does ride it from time to time. At one point in time, if I recall correctly, he explained it as, it runs like crap. It's not powerful. It's not the best suspension. It's really not the best at anything, except it looks damn cool. And I could not agree more. There was actually one at Boyd Cycles not too long back, and I really wanted that thing. That was just a cool ass bike. So that is my number 1, the Harley Bad Boy. And it's just sweet. Honestly, I'll end up getting one at some point, or I'll get a Sportster, like an older one, and throw a Springer front on it, because, again, Springer fronts just look cool, man. But that's my list of 5. So now let's go over to the garage there, or my office. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to land. And let's talk about Harley's 2021 dealer announcement and all the bikes we haven't already seen leak all over the internet. Take it away.
Alright guys, welcome back to Casa de Cold Ass Garage. I was going to film this in my basement, and then I realized all my lighting is awful down there. Yeah, so we're in the garage. I watched the 2021 dealer announcement for Harley today. Originally, I was going to go through and, like, review it with you guys, maybe do some, like, video clips of it and all that. Quite honestly, it's coming out on the 21st for everyone to see. You can go to Harley's dealership and see it on the 21st, which, if everything is done in time, this video will go up on the 20th. So tomorrow you can watch that video yourself. With that being said, I noticed a lot of videos already popping up on YouTube, and I might have been involved in a live chat or two that spent some time dragging Harley through the mud for their 2021s. So there's nothing I could really add to that on this video, and I'm not going to try. Instead, I'm going to issue you guys a challenge. And since this video is connected to my 5 motorcycles video that Shadetree Surgeon like issued a challenge for. My dogs are jerks. I'm gonna especially issue this challenge to you, Mr. Shadetree Surgeon, and your Shadetree Army. That's right. I'm looking right at you, like right at you. So instead of like bagging on Harley, instead of like trying to look for the shiny, polished side of that turd, here's the challenge. I'm making it a drinking game. And this is why I'm coming straight at Shadetree Surgeon, because I think mortal men would die of alcohol poisoning on this. So maybe, I know Shay Lisi doesn't drink a lot, but maybe you could make this one of your live streams on the weekend or something. Here's the deal. Anytime during the Harley announcement that they talk about the paint, you do a shot. Hard alcohol, not like mouthwash or anything. You do a shot anytime they talk about paint. And I don't mean like they get on the subject of paint and they go for 5 minutes. If host 1 says, oh, well, the paint, and then host 2 is like, oh my God, so the paint, there's 2 shots. You do shots. Anytime they talk about this going to the next level, this is taking Harley to the next level, you do a shot and you shotgun a beer. And what was the other thing that, oh, if they say the word attitude, you just shotgun a beer. So there's your 3. If they say attitude, you shotgun a beer. If they talk about the paint, you do a shot. If they talk about this bringing Harley to the next level, shot and a shotgun of your beer. That's your challenge. And don't die. Like, really, don't die. But that's all I've got, really. And you know, if any of you want to answer this call, if any of you think that you have the testicular fortitude or the fallopian fortitude to take this challenge, go ahead and tag me in your IG or whatever, because I want to see that video for sure. But that's it, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, tell your friends, tell your family, tell those people I mentioned in past videos that you see over at AA. I'm sure they would love an excuse to get hammered. They love this stuff, trust me. And I will see you guys all on the flip side.